One easy way to illustrate this is to think of it this way. Somewhere in the world is the world's worst therapist. Statistically speaking, that has to be true. Somewhere out there is the world's worst therapist, and someone has an appointment with him tomorrow. Somewhere out there is the world's worst self-improvement blogger, and somebody's about to pay and download his ebook right now. And somewhere out there is the world's worst executive coach, and tomorrow morning she's going to walk into a conference room at the airport Radisson. It's just going to happen. Why is that? Because there's an epidemic of need. We are looking to each other like we never have before for ideas on how to reduce our anxiety. We are crowdsourcing our mental health like we've never done before. We've become almost like the Napster of mental health, where we can go and we can start downloading the 10 tips to increase your happiness, 10 tips to reduce your anxiety, how to get to sleep better, and so forth. Well, then the question becomes, how do you identify the tips that are really going to help you versus just somebody whose sole qualification is they've been doing this for 5 minutes longer than you have, writing something down, or copying and pasting it from someone else altogether? To some degree, you can't. To some degree, you just have to go and shop around. But what I want to help you do is be able to identify people who don't necessarily have your interest at heart yet, because one, they simply don't know what it's like to go through what they're describing. Now, one of the ways to do this, just some concrete advice, is that when you see somebody working about or talking about passion, talking about excitement, talking about happiness, those are all kind of red flags in the business. Now, why would they be red flags? Don't you want happiness? Don't you want passion? Don't you want excitement? Yes, but what happens is you get people who get excited about being excited, and then the first time anything goes wrong, things fall apart because you don't have the techniques. You haven't drilled the techniques. All you've said is, I'm going to be excited about what my life holds. I'm going to write a goal down that I'm going to achieve. I'm going to write this down and put a timeline to it. Then you fall off the timeline, you never come back to it, and then suddenly you feel even worse because you set your mind to something and didn't accomplish it. This is what happens when you express excitement only. Passion is a little bit of the same thing, but the real danger, what I'm finding, is in happiness. And you'd think, how can talking about happiness be a problem? Happiness itself is a problem because it's a poorly defined concept. A bottle of wine does it for some people. You know, some other substances do it for other folks. Sometimes just getting that new job, sometimes getting a new relationship. And you'll have people release these tips on how to quit your job, how to go and find something else, how to find a new relationship, a new puppy, a new car, all these different things. And that's all well and good by themselves. But what they're doing is they're saying, here's a dopamine rush from something that you really don't need. So what I want to be able to do is to let you know when you see somebody leading with that, if that's their best offer, be a little bit careful, because what they're talking about are things that are very short-lived. If it doesn't give you a chance at improving your enduring enjoyment of life moving forward, if they don't result in you getting up on a regular day, even if there's nothing fantastic on your plate like a new job or a new opportunity, and you still want to get going, then it's probably not something that's going to help you very long term. But by all means, keep looking around, keep reading them. I do. I enjoy some of them sometimes. But don't let that be their only focus. When you are your best focus, you're going to find that you're not just happier, you're more excited, and you notice an absence of anxiety. And that's harder to find than just feeling happy. When you can find not feeling anxious, that's a lot more. It's harder to measure, which is why this is harder work than it sounds. It's harder than a download. It's harder than an appointment, and it's harder than the airport Radisson.